Okay.
Ready.
Go. Take two. So,
Yeah. Take two.
so what's lovely is that you hardly use any pigment when you're coloring with the Copics because your blender pen is the one they're going to use the most, and you will want to have refills in your store and extra tips for them to buy. So we love the brush tip, and it's better to start lighter. So all I'm going to do, just like when I was young and I used to color in the coloring books, I used to outline deep and then I'd start coloring light. So that's why I say this is fun. This is just like when you were a kid. So then you just little outline, and it's much harder to go in and color heavy and remove the color than it is to start lighter.
Start darker.
Just, yeah, you start lighter and you layer. If you start darker, then you're going to have to keep lifting and moving the color over. So if you start lighter,
And that's a lighter color than
no, it's a darker color, but I'm hardly using any. I've just done a little
You're just
outline.
doing
But
the
if I
shape
colored in the whole area,
Yeah.
it's going to be harder to go with my blender.
Yes.
But you're going to see what happens because it'll take the color everywhere. So now I'm just going to, and it actually works as a blender pen. It is so easy. The one trick is you don't want to color too much. What happens is you're coloring on top of adhesive, and if you overcolor, what happens is you start pushing the glitter around because you are making it moist. So then the tape gets really tacky underneath and the glitter will start moving around. And what you do is you dab off your blender like this. And so if you overcolor, it starts moving the glitter, and then your tape's going to be sticky again. If that happens, what I tell people, you just pour more glitter on it and it will solve your problem and burnish again. But you want to try to avoid that. The trick is put your color down and you blend fast. Another issue when you're teaching classes is that right now I'm coloring, but sometimes it's difficult to actually see where I've shaded and what this is looking like because I'm looking down at a whole bunch of gold specks reflecting up at me. So if I pick it up like this, I can go, oh, I see where I need to do, and then put it back down because that light hits here and all the light flows up. So see, you can take a dark color, look how,
Yeah.
so
That is beautiful.
it's so easy. And when people dab off their pen, now even your people who are doing the Copic classes, it's a good thing to teach them with the brush tip. I always stop people because this is a really bad habit.
Oh, like
Don't do that. That's not good for you. It is a brush tip. So every time you use it, it starts getting softer and softer and softer, right? So the more you do that, the more you're breaking down the tip. So it's just giving them good advice, good knowledge, right? So all I do is I'll dab and roll, dab and roll, dab and roll until I get to the next color. And you can end up making some pretty paper too.
yeah, I bet.
So I just
We don't
dab.
throw away anything.
So then over here I've come outside the line a little bit. So again, remember I was saying you don't overwork it. So I'll make sure my pen's really nice and clean. And all I do is I'll go in and I pick off. So you don't go like this.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to end up saturating
Right.
the tape and moving the glitter around. So you just want to go like this. And if you really made a bad bleed, like there's still some there, I would go color another area
Come back.
and then come back to it again so that I'm not overworking that area. Another thing that you can do, see if I can find my glaze pen. You see right here? You can take this if you like. What I did here is I used a glaze pen. Double handy here. Put it back in my little bag. Let me see if I can. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We'll just try to edit that out.
Yeah.
No problem. The hardest thing to do, but we can do it.
Okay. We don't have any glaze pens.
Well, you can tell us.
color.
You can walk
You
us.
can just color directly on the tape. So what I did to get this effect was when I peeled the backing, I put on, the same way I transferred this, I transferred it. Once I got the peel off on, I put it right in the glitter. This time, if you want to use the glaze pen and create the two different tones so you get that gloss, I colored right on the tape with the glaze pen. Then I take it, I put it aside somewhere safe where it's not going to get flipped over. I let this dry for about 20 minutes, and then I go put my glitter on, and that's your result. So now I can go back in and I can color. But I get the two textures. If you've ended, you can even use your glaze pens on top of the glitter, right? Make sure you don't use a jelly roll, right? Because it's made by Secure, so you have your glaze, you have souffle.
Souffle
you
works the same as
souffle, yes, but jelly roll will not dry. So the trick, don't use a jelly roll because it won't dry, and you'll go, what is going on? Make sure you read your pen, because I know this because
Tried it.
maybe it happened to me when I thought I actually had a glaze pen in my hand and
You were
found out
experimenting.
I experimented. Yes, I did it on purpose. The other thing I use, if you look up those bumblebees, because they're the biggest that you can see, and you can see it on the kimonos, I've done glossy accents over top to give it that beautiful gloss, rich, so you get that depth. It is so much fun to do after you've colored, and you go, okay, I want to create a little depth. So yeah, the bumblebees, you can kind of see they're really glossy, so they're really nice and thick. And I've done it on the kimono. I did it in the dove. I've done it on a couple of these in here. It's just a beautiful way to play with texture.
That is really
and it
gorgeous.
feels really cool. I put the glossy accents over top. So I could even, after this is done, if I want more depth and texture, I can put my glossy accents over top of this. Why not? We've even tried the crackle and then colored and stained on. Like you gotta play. You have to play a bit. So I give you the basics and then you experiment a little bit. I also love to use, you can see in these birds here, see how the blue's a little deeper down in here? And that outline right there with the brown, the rust. What I know is going to be a little hard for you to see. What I do, and even on here, these flowers, after I've completely blended, sometimes I just want to really accentuate it, give a little bit more drama. And with your brush pens, they're fine. I'll show you, it's fine, but not that fine. So what I will do is I'll take a good quality, soft pencil crayon, so your Prismacolors, your Faber-Castell, the good quality ones, and I will go in after this is it's sat and it's dried a bit, so it's the tape that gets gooey because of the moisture, right? Once it's dried, I go in with my pencil crayon, and again, just the oil from my finger. Another trick for you.
Oh. Yeah.
When you're playing with pencil crayons, so this is just something when your students are working with pencil crayons and things, and they want to do some blending on. It's an old printer's trick. So we have a lot of oil that we carry right here and at the nape of our. So when you go back here behind your ear, sounds kind of gross, but artists and printers, it's part of the business. So trying to move residues too. When you're trying to move residue, you just go like this, and that will help your. I don't have pencil crayon with me, but it will help. Right, that little oil. So our bodies carry a lot that we can actually use for art, but it's a really wonderful trick. So that's a lovely way to blend with your pencil crayons.
Thank you so much.
That was like a
This
short
was-
demo. I have a ton of
tell ya.
information I could